Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel God Will Do It For You. My name is Steven and I hope everyone's having a great day so far. And what we're going to be talking about today is why God pushes us to our limit. And as always, we're going to go straight into the Bible and see what the Bible has to say about this. And we're going to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 10. And I'm going to start at verse 13. And it says, "No limit or temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful, and he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability, but with the temptation he will also provide the way of escape that you may be able to endure it." Now, what does this mean? This is basically saying that there's no one that has not been pushed to the limit of what they felt like they could be pushed to. That's why it says, "No limit or temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man." So that means don't feel like this is only happening to you. God has a way of pushing us to our limits because it is for a benefit. Whatever's coming your way, whether it's more priorities in your job, maybe you're starting a business and now a busy season is coming that's going to be very profitable. Maybe you have a child or children and life is about to get more busy because they're able to do sports and things like that. Whatever the case may be, God is making sure that your endurance is being built, because if you're not pushed to your limit, you will not know what you are capable of producing. You have to realize that. It's just like a pressure cooker. A pressure cooker, it pressurizes it to a certain limit to get the result that it's looking for. It pushes it to its limit, because if it pushes it overboard, that lid will pop off. And what God is not trying to do is make us self-destruct. He's not trying to push us to our limit so that way we can have a mental breakdown. What he is doing is he's bringing out a part of yourself that you never thought could be possible. And you may say, "Oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm getting pushed to my limit." And he's like, "Good, because if I don't bring this side out of you, and if I don't keep pushing you to your limit, you may not do it yourself willingly. You may get tired, but you may stop." God knows how to create circumstances to where you can't stop. And he's like, "No, you can actually go 25% more, but you're stopping before you're reaching your limit of capability." And that's why it says as well, he will also provide the way of escape that you may be able to endure it. Again, he's giving you the ability to endure, which is going to build endurance. That's the great part about it. Again, during this walk of my life, I've never thought I'd be doing something like this. I never thought I'd leave a full-time job. I wasn't happy there. It was pretty easy. But I was just like, there's got to be more to life than this. I'm like, man, I'm capable of so much more. I'm like, this is easy. And what they are doing is they are limiting my growth, because it was so easy, but they would only let me make so many sales because they didn't want you to take away from the other people. So again, they're limiting your growth. They're limiting your capability to a certain point, which is, you're not at that point seeing exactly what you're capable of doing. Maybe let's just say, for an example, I would get maybe 6, 7, 8 sales a day. But if I got sale opportunities all day, maybe I could get 12, 13, 14, 15. But you would never know what you're capable of doing until you take that limit off and see exactly how far you can go. And that's in anything in life. You never know what you're capable of until God puts you in a circumstance where you start to realize, man, you know what? I am talented. Man, you know what? I can handle more. You know what? I can do the same job as that supervisor. Hey, you know what? I can start a business. I understand what it takes. Hey, I'm a single parent, but I understand that I can take care of the responsibility. And yes, it's more work, but I can do it. Whatever the case may be, God knows how to bring about that result in a way that it will show us who we truly are and what we are capable of. God knows how to show us in a way that we see that, hey, I would have never done this way, or I would have never known this if I did not get pushed to my limit. And what is the reason for this? And you're like, well, why is he pushing us to? Because you're getting ready to level up. It's as plain and simple as that. You're getting ready to level up. You're getting ready to level up in life. And I truly believe that, once I get things leveled out the way I really want to, because it's getting there. Like now, I'm smiling real hard these days. I'm like, oh boy, the way I'm about to tackle this food business I'm going to go about it in a way that I'm expecting a result that I never expected. And you just got to have that type of confidence in yourself and that type of belief in God that, hey, you know what? Your delay was not you saying no. It was to protect the idea, to protect what he has in store for you. And for me, I'm like, there's only one reason that I can think of that I can't get a day off. If I take a day off now, when I start making more, I'm like, well, if I take a day off, then I'm losing money. Hey, I'm having to work all day. Hey, I'm having to handle more now. I got to work, and then I take a break, and then I go home, work on a computer, and then I go back out, work. I'm on my feet. Then my son gets home from after school. Got to help him, learn more things in life. And right now I'm teaching him money. Then at that point, dinner. Then at that point, make sure he gets in the shower, make sure he's fed, get him in bed. At that point, it's 8:30. In between 8:30 and 8:45, I got maybe an hour and a half left because I'm realizing that I need more sleep than I'm giving myself. Then at that point, next day, same grind. There's really no room to be sitting down watching TV for me anymore. That period of my life is gone. Anytime that I get to sit down, if I sit still too long, I'm dozing off or things like that, which, at that point I'm not being productive. So I'll decompress in other ways, but it's just not really time to sit down and watch TV when you are trying to go about things and you're trying to grow your life in a way and you're trying to experience something that you never thought you could experience. And my thought, we'll see what happens, but my thought is that, once this food business picks up, I may have to go about things a way that is going to require that sometimes. It's going to require back to back working. But guess what? It won't be something that you felt like you're being thrown in. At that point, you've been put through an endurance trial of your life that you're like, well, it's not like there's much adjusting that I have to do. It's just different activities being performed. And so this is why I'm counting it all joy, because I'm like, you know what? Yes, I would like a day off. But if this food business takes off the way I hope it does, then all of this would be purposeful. Everything would make complete sense. It's like, you know what? I have the endurance to handle it. I don't have to make any adjustments. I just have to change the activities now. Instead of doing this, now I'm doing this. But guess what? If I'm used to being on my feet, I'm used to being on my feet. If you're not used to being on your feet and now you have to be on your feet 6, 7, 8 hours, you might freak out. Your body won't be able to handle that right off the bat. And then guess what? You might jeopardize a blessing. So God knows how to bring about the result that he needs from you. His ways are not our ways. We just have to trust his process. So that way, when everything comes to pass, you're like, I get it now. So God has if you feel like life is just hitting you with a bag of bricks, you feel the pressure of priorities, circumstances, things like that. You're like, I've never had to handle things like this. What is going on? God is trying to bring about a result from you because something great is coming. Even if you're like, man, I'm handling more responsibilities. I'm taking care of a parent. I'm taking care of this. I'm taking care of that. Guess what? He is teaching you responsibility. He is teaching you how to prioritize. He is teaching you so many useful skills that life requires you to know. Otherwise, you will not make it out here. You have to have worldly knowledge, meaning you have to know how to handle life. You have to be responsible. You have to know how to prioritize priorities. You got to understand, like, hey, if that's not that important, I don't really need to be focused on it. You have to prioritize. If you want to be a boss, if you want to be in charge of your life, if you want to get up more in the chain of command at your job, you have to be able to handle more. You got to be able to handle more. And the only way that you can handle more is by God putting you through these endurance trials, by him pushing you to your limit. Because if you tell God this is too much, then he might not give it to you. He's like, you know what? It is too much for you. You're not ready yet. And who wants to live life going back around in a circle and being taught just like the Israelites? You know, they went through all that mess. They went through all of it. Got to the gates of the promised land and then didn't have the confidence to see it through after God told them that it's already theirs. And then guess what? Now they had to wait 40 years before they got another opportunity. Don't be the Israelites, man. That's why these lessons in the Bible are exactly what they are. They are to give us a heads up of people that made mistakes before us, so that way we don't make the same mistakes. And if you hear all these bugs, there's nothing I can do about it. They be screaming. I don't know what they're saying. But don't make the same mistakes as the Israelites did. We have the blueprint. We have the blueprint. We have the knowledge. We have the wisdom right there. We have the mistakes. We have the people that learned from those mistakes. We have the blueprint. But it's up to us to make sure that we're realizing what we have in our hands and making sure that we are implementing it to the best of our ability. Because I'm telling you, if you just lean on God and trust him and trust the process, God will make up the difference, and he will show you exactly why everything had to happen. Because anybody that saw it through, they always say that God met the need and came through with what they were hoping and wishing for, but gave them plus some that they never thought that they were going to get. He exceeds our expectations. So just remember, the next time that you're collapsing, just like I've said in my other videos, I was like, man, y'all, I'm getting pushed to the limit with my body and this and that. Then the very next week, I'm like, oh, time to keep going. It's because God knows. He's like, good, just rest and go back at it. Just go back at it. You got to realize what you're capable of. You're capable of so much. We have a God that has no limits, so he knows how to give us what we need to keep going. Just as it says, he's not going to push you beyond what you are capable of handling, but he's going to give you an escape so that way you can endure it. And that's it. So I hope this has been a blessing for you. If you like it, like, share, subscribe, whatever you choose to do. And as always, I hope this is a blessing. We give God all the glory for all of these videos, and you just have a good rest of your day. And until next time.